Hello, everybody, and welcome to VOW Live. It is Monday, March 28th. We are here live after the go-home show to WWE WrestleMania 32. WrestleMania is coming. I want to thank everyone for watching the live stream here at voicesofwrestling.com or the Voices of Wrestling YouTube. This episode of VOW Live will feature open phone lines here in just a minute, so you will be able to call in with all of your thoughts about the WWE Raw show from tonight, some of the surprises, and the things that are going to happen this WrestleMania weekend. Calls on any topic coming up WrestleMania weekend. It can be WrestleMania, it can be NXT, it can be some of the non-WWE events. It can be really whatever you want it to be. And I want to thank you guys for joining in at voicesofwrestling.com and the VOW YouTube. In the chat room live, you can chat with others who are watching the show, and we will get to your comments here throughout the show. I am Rob McCarron. You can follow me at Shake Them Ropes. And I have a couple of things before we open the phone lines. Just a couple of things. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel because coming up this weekend, we have two scheduled events. One on Friday after NXT TakeOver Dallas, and we are going to be doing a post show after WrestleMania 32. That's right, a live stream post show on YouTube after WrestleMania 32. And the WrestleMania 32 show will be open lines. NXT TakeOver may be open lines. I'm unsure quite right now if it's going to be. But the NXT TakeOver show, maybe WWE WrestleMania 32 show, definitely is going to be open lines. And we have guests planned. We have guests planned for both the Friday stream and the Sunday stream. All of the times, all the links are on the main page at voicesofwrestling.com. If you go on the right sidebar, you see the VOW TV section. All of the links for each show are right there. But Friday, Rich Crage of voicesofwrestling.com will be here with me to go over NXT TakeOver Dallas live after the show. So be sure to subscribe, watch that show on Friday night with us, really Saturday morning. If you're on the East Coast or overseas, that show is happening on Saturday morning at like 1 in the morning. So if you can join us, great. If you watch it on demand the next day, that's fine too. Sunday night, Joe Lanza of Voices of Wrestling will be here with me. Joe Lanza will be live after WrestleMania 32 with open phone lines. So if you want to get a question in or a comment on the show to both myself and Joe Lanza, you'll be able to do that. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. All the links at voicesofwrestling.com. Like this video right now. Thumbs up. If you're watching on the YouTube page, if you're watching on the YouTube app, hit that thumbs up button. The thumbs up button to like the video. It'll help us improve our ranking so more people can see this and more people can then join the chat. Hopefully, if you are in the chat room, hopefully the audio is working perfectly for you. If it is not, I apologize. I tried to do everything. We started on time actually tonight, which is like the first time ever. So thanks for having faith in me that I would start this thing on time. I finally did. One thing to plug that is not related to this YouTube channel right now, if you don't know what's happening over at the Voices of Wrestling forums, Match Madness. It is our take on March Madness. 64 wrestlers arbitrarily slotted into different seatings. We are in the Sweet 16 now. The Sweet 16 began tonight, so it's all fan voting. You can go vote for who you think the best wrestlers of today are. All the information up under the VOW project section on the Voices of Wrestling forums. That's voicesofwrestling.com/forums. Thank you everyone for joining. Twan Mack, Dave in the website chat room, Lawson, all of you. Thank you for joining this post WrestleMania. So we will open up the phone lines. We are going to have a guest here later in the show. Jerome Cuson of PWP Ponderings or PW Ponderings will come on to talk some of the non-WWE events happening this weekend. So hope to have another guest. Jeff Hawkins, my co-partner in crime for Shake Them Ropes, might be able to call into the show. But other than that, the phone lines are going to be open to talk about whatever you want. If you have a prediction for WrestleMania 32, if you have a comment from WWE Raw tonight, if you are going to WrestleMania in Dallas and want to share with us what your plans are for WrestleMania in Dallas, give us a call right now. If you're in the chat room and want to call in, maybe you're a first-time caller, maybe you never tried before, give us a call. The phone number's on the screen, 260-494-3811. Or if you're listening on Skype, the Skype name is LetsSayThings, all one word, LetsSayThings. I will try to monitor the Skype line very well so that I don't miss people calling in. If we do get a couple of calls at the same time, I can only take one. So if you are calling while someone else is on the line, you may not get through. Keep trying, and we'll try to get everyone on the show who wants to be on the show. I think that was all my Twitter plugs. Follow me at Shake Them Ropes and voicesofwrestling.com/Amazon. If you shop on Amazon and don't know about our affiliate link, voicesofwrestling.com/Amazon takes you to the Amazon website. You can shop like normal. There's no extra cost, and it does help the website a little bit. Kick some money back to us so we can try new things like the VOW live stream weekly, or, doing some different promotional things on the website, like this March Madness tournament that's taking up more time than I thought it would, but it's fun, and I'm glad that those who have gotten to vote in the poll have been able to do so and have had fun with it. We should start with our main topic tonight as I get into Newsman Voice. Our main topic tonight on VOW Live, the number one story in your hearts, the number one story in my mind. Eva Marie is back. A couple of days after Emma came back, we got Eva Marie coming up from NXT. Eva Marie is the 5th Total Diva on Brie Bella's Total Diva team, going up at WrestleMania 32. So, of course, what else would be the top story? Would it be Shane McMahon doing his famous elbow from the ring post to the announcer table on The Undertaker a week before their match? Of course not. Come on now. Come on. What else would it be? Triple H and Roman Reigns fighting twice on the show? Come on now. Would it be Dean Ambrose coming down to the ring to fill not just the shopping cart, but like a children's play wagon with weapons? Not attacking Brock Lesnar, but filling a wagon with weapons. All of these things happen on tonight's WWE Raw, plus more. So if you have a comment on anything WWE Raw related, give us a call, 494-3811 with the area code 260. All the numbers are on the top of the screen, right above me, I believe. Right above me. MLB opening day is next week, too. Wearing the Padres gear. If you have a prediction on who's going to go in the World Series, that's fine, too. Also, we are monitoring the chat. So if you are inside the chat room live, I don't have my glasses on and I don't wear contacts, so I will do my best to see everyone's comments. But I want to thank everyone. Twan Max saying, Roberto, my man, that is me. Thank you for joining us. I had a question too. Someone on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes, my feed, someone asked me, is Dean Ambrose the new Raven? Coming down, filling up the shopping cart with weapons, going out to WrestleMania. Is Dean Ambrose the new Raven? And in a way, yeah. I mean, one of the better talkers. Not really considered to be a top guy. In a way, Dean Ambrose is kind of like Raven. That would have been a cool match if both were in their primes. But we do have a caller on the line on Skype. Let's Say Things is the Skype name. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
This is Joe calling from Chattanooga.
Joe from Chattanooga. Joe, hello tonight. How are you on the road to WrestleMania?
Well, let's say that is the most See It Thursday on Thunder episode of Raw I've seen in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
You were not a fan of this episode of Raw?
It was confounding to me at times.
Okay, well, let's pick one thing, because I will say that I actually quite liked tonight's Raw just because it seemed to flow pretty well until you started seeing double of a lot of people. But what was the number one thing?
Well, I'll be honest, it was the 6-man.
Okay, so that was near the end, yep.
Yeah, which the entire city of Brooklyn decided, nope, we're crapping on the whole thing right now.
And that's the interesting fact too, because you got to remember this crowd was in for a long night. This show started live for them at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, an hour and a half before Raw went live on the show. It started at 6:30 p.m. Eastern with them taping Superstars and every match for SmackDown. So by the time this show got to the last half hour mark, they had been sitting there for 4.5 hours throughout a lot of stuff.
Then again, it's also Brooklyn, which I remember the last time I went to anything in Brooklyn, which was the first Ring of Honor Field of Honor show.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just, what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was well, let me ask you this. So the 6-man, because the crowd stopped caring. Now at WrestleMania, the crowd will care about that 6-man match. I don't think we have to worry about them.
Because there'll be car crashes.
Yes.
Let's be honest. It's a giant car crash, and that's what they're got there for.
Yeah. So they will care about it at that point.
It was just the idea of Brooklyn in particular. If you look, not even a couple of months back, towards SummerSlam, those men would have been cheered out the room, carried out on shoulders, and babies would fly in the air, and a whole bunch of cornetisms.
Yeah.
And tonight was just, I think it was a lot of everything. You're right. You're there since 6:30. It's a long tape, and you're dealing with 2 triple backpack promos.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long night.
Joe, it was a very long night. I want to thank you so much for calling in because it brings up some really good points. The line is kind of tripping up here a little bit, so I'm going to let you go. But I want to thank you for calling in and listening to the show. I will answer some of that stuff. In a lot of ways, you're right. You get to the end of this Raw, and the crowd had been there for a long time. They wanted to have fun the way they wanted to have fun. The 6-man was the 6-man. It was not what they wanted to see out of those 6, because they want to see the WrestleMania match. And they were not going to get that. They were getting a straight 6-man tag. They can stop with the CM Punk chants, but at this point now, people are just kind of having fun with it, and you're not going to stop them. You tell them to stop, and they're just going to keep doing it. You may go into a show thinking, I will not be a part of chanting CM Punk. I will not be a part of it. People around you don't think that way. People around you are going to think, I'm going to be one of those guys who chant CM Punk to let people know that I remember that guy. And I'm going to tell Triple H what I think. CM Punk, CM Punk. So everyone has the different sides of it. It's going to happen sometimes. It's going to happen. We have another caller on the line. Caller, your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, sexy. It's your co-host from Shake Them Ropes.
Peter?
Yes, Peter. That's who it is.
Peter, how are you? Jeff Hawkins on the line at CrapGame13. Jeff, what'd you think of, I know you have to go write the Raw review for voicesofwrestling.com, but give me the quick takes. What was the top thing on this night that you take away as we head into WrestleMania?
The Shane elbow drop, definitely. And while it was both very exciting and also built the match quite well, I think I do have concerns on, okay, how are they going to top this? And I'm concerned for Shane's safety. I am. I think he's going off the top of the cage.
Yeah, something's going to happen. You're right. I mean, if he does this on this Raw. Now, it was interesting because they can kind of do with The Undertaker. Let's do this big spot. We're not giving away the whole match. We're giving away one little spot, but it also goes to show with Undertaker coming right back up that, hey, let's do this one big spot, but also at the same time pretend that nothing happened.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's a teaser, and I thought for sure they weren't going to do the elbow drop. I thought for sure they're going to kind of blue ball that and have Undertaker, pop up and just kind of walk away to, save the fight for when it's in his yard. But,
right.
And then the other thing is the very, very heavy push for the title match to the point where they're actually repeating segments.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get into this a lot when you and I record Shake Them Ropes tomorrow, our audio podcast. We're going to get into some of that. Like, of all the segments they decided to repeat, it was the Triple H Roman Reigns, and we will talk about our predictions for each match, but let's tease the people a little bit. After tonight and the way they repeatedly called that the main event and gave it the main event segment of Raw, there is, what's the chance that one goes last now? Because I would almost put it at 85-90%.
I got it at about 75, but I think you're right. I think the way they pushed it, it's probably going on last in some way.
Yeah, I would say that match going into this Raw, I thought that it was going to be Undertaker and Shane going on last, but the way they built everything tonight, Triple H and Roman Reigns. Is there any chance? And maybe don't even give me an answer to this, but think about this for tomorrow's show. And I want as people listen to Shake Them Ropes tomorrow, I want everyone to come up with. Okay, last year they gave Seth Rollins the big push after WrestleMania. They had him come in out of nowhere and win the title, and Roman Reigns was pushed to the bottom. In what way this year can they do something very similar to that? Because if this is the main event, I don't know if Roman Reigns wins this match clean, and I don't know what else they could do. There's no Money in the Bank champion right now. What can they do? So, Jeff, we're going to have to think of what they can do tomorrow. If they don't actually give away.
I'm still digesting this Raw quite a bit, so I'm not even ready to answer that question, to be honest with you.
That is one reason why I like doing these shows. And we've had a couple of people call in while Jeff is on the line. I can't take the call while Jeff is on. So if you haven't been able to get on, keep trying once Jeff leaves the line here. I want to thank everyone for trying to call in. This WWE Raw was interesting, and one of the things we can do on the show is kind of be cathartic and just let our feelings out. Let your feelings out, everybody. without having to think about too much.
Since you have people calling, and since we have our own show, I'll save everything for that show.
Exactly.
I will just plug that I'm doing the Raw reviews now over at voicesofwrestling.com, and B, I will do my best to call in live at post NXT, post WrestleMania, post Raw.
That's right. We're doing
because I will be in Dallas.
You are going to Dallas. You are going to Dallas. So I am alone here now at this time. My own fault because I should have been down there with you. But I am going to be up here, hanging on to the Northeast division of Shake Them Ropes, while you are traveling to the Southern division of Shake Them Ropes, and you will try to call in on our live shows because we are doing live after NXT TakeOver, after WrestleMania 32. And after the Raw, after WrestleMania. We're doing way too many live shows, but I hope everyone can join us. So, Jeff, go to sleep.
I actually feel bad for not being able to join you on most of these, but I will see you tomorrow. Have a good show. Enjoy everything.
No need to feel bad because you'll join us in one way or another with the live perspective. You'll be our live correspondent, and then we'll do Shake Them Ropes on Tuesday where you can kind of decompress from the whole weekend and give us your thoughts.
Cool beans.
All right.
Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye. That was Jeff Hawkins. We are going to have another guest here in just a little bit, Jerome Cuson of PW Ponderings, to talk about the non-WWE events. But if you want to let your feelings out of the WWE stuff, by all means, the phone lines are open now, 260-494-3811, or on Skype, Let's Say Things. Keith Harris in the chat room said he will start a Eat Your Hat chant in response to my CM Punk comments there. CM Punk still no fight announced for UFC 200. Ronda Rousey was in Las Vegas today. Will Ronda Rousey be getting a new fight sometime soon? Probably not for UFC 200, but Ronda Rousey in Las Vegas. Not going to be at WrestleMania this weekend, maybe. We have another call on the line, on the Skype line this time. Let's Say Things on Skype. Your caller, your name and where you're calling from.
Hey, Rob, this is Nathan from Minneapolis.
Hi, Nathan from Minneapolis. How cold is it up there right now?
It's actually not too bad. It's the snow is actually melted, and it's actually about 50 or so degrees.
Yeah, it's getting better, right? It's getting better.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot better than it has been.
Slowly and surely.
I just hope it doesn't snow again. It's actually 45 degrees.
Yeah, well,
and as long as it doesn't snow again, which in Minnesota you never know, I should be okay. But
how's this for a segue? Eva Marie snowed in on Raw tonight. Scale of 1 to 10, how great was the Eva Marie return?
Scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it about a 4. I'd do the Bret Hart rating, only because I'm not a fan of her. I appreciate what she can do as far as she can get a good heat, or she can get a lot of heat, so she's a big heat magnet. I appreciate that, but she's not going to. They presented her as the face.
Well,
she was supposed to be the one who
she's on
did the big save at the end.
Let me stop you right there, Nathan. They put her on the babyface team, but it's also the Total Divas team. She's the weak link, and you saw it in the ring when she showed up, that no one else on her team likes that she's there, but they have to take her because there's no one else that was on their side.
To be honest, I wasn't really paying attention to it.
Because she is not a babyface. She is not a babyface. No, hold on. It is clear now that she is not a babyface, and she's on the team because she's on the show. And we'll see how they can kind of work together. I would not be surprised at all if Eva Marie ends up turning on the team and tries to be the solo star, or if she's the weak link on the pay-per-view. She is not a babyface, I don't believe.
Well, here's the question, okay? WWE, or we realize that as smart fans that are in the bubble of people that know kind of what's going on, but does WWE themselves realize that, or are they just too stupid to say, oh, well, Eva Marie is on Total Divas, so we're going to put her on there and she's going to get cheered, but she's going to get booed regardless because people don't like her? Is that just me thinking crazy, or is it just...
Yeah, I think the WWE realizes what they have. They realized it when, on the NXT show, she was this character. She was the one that thought she was so great and she wasn't going to, care what the crowd said. And they were putting her in a position to be the heel. And they're doing that now on WWE TV because they They did it with the mannerisms. You know, the whole babyface team was not happy that she was there, but they will team with her because one, babyfaces in WWE are stupid, but also they had no one else. It was 4-on-5. They needed a fifth. And here is Eva Marie coming along. She is going to be the fifth person. So Eva Marie is in there.
My hopes for this match is it's not a repeat of, I believe, Survivor Series 2013. Because they had that Total Divas match, or that Total Divas versus, I guess, the True Divas is what they called it. And Eva Marie got way too much ring time back when she was still kind of green. And she's still very green, but she's a little bit better than she was back then. But I'm hoping that if this is it's obviously a multi-diva tag match, I'm hoping she doesn't get that much time. Because A, she doesn't need it, and B, she's not that good.
She's not great. That's true. She's not great.
She's not terrible anymore either, but she
does her thing. You know, she does her thing. And what else are you going to do? You go out there, you do your thing. Survivor Series 2013. It does not seem possible that she's been around for that long. 2.5 years it would be. But yeah, there she was.
Yep.
There she was. JoJo in the ring. Oh boy. What a tag team match that was.
Yeah.
It just seems like forever since that show. I mean, you had CM Punk and Daniel Bryan teaming up against the Wyatt family. I hear 2013, and I think none of these people could have been around.
Yeah.
They were.
Because a lot of people don't remember 2013. And, I didn't even watch Survivor Series 2013 live. In fact, I picked and chose what I wanted to see from that show. But people were saying that the Divas match was so weird that I just had to sit and watch it, and I really wish I hadn't, but here we are, I guess.
Nathan, here we are now. There's no more television until WrestleMania. There's SmackDown, which taped a couple of matches, but you're not going to see much new. Everything that we know is pretty much done and sealed for WrestleMania 32. So we have NXT on Friday, we have the Hall of Fame on Saturday, and we have WrestleMania 32 on Sunday. What match or induction or any segment possible is the one thing that, Nathan, you are looking forward to most?
The thing I'm looking forward to the most, and I think I speak for a lot of people when I say this, is Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura at TakeOver Dallas.
Sami Zayn has a couple of big matches here this weekend. One of really he's the only guy, as far as I know, that really has, two big matches on these shows. So Sami Zayn is going to wrestle Shinsuke Nakamura in Shinsuke Nakamura's debut. I think that is a match that you're right. Most people listening to this show, or most people that are online in the VOW type atmosphere, are looking forward to Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, and I would dare say that Sami Zayn has 2 of the 3 most anticipated matches on this entire weekend. Maybe 2 of the top 5. Maybe 3's going a little deep or shallow with it, but maybe at least 2 of the top 5. I would say. What's the induction? Are you going to watch the Hall of Fame on Saturday?
I will be working Saturday night, so I will probably not get a chance to watch the entire Hall of Fame ceremony, but the induction I'm most looking forward to is Sting.
Okay. Yeah. And Sting's the main eventer. I would ask that too if you're in the chat room, or if you are listening on demand. Hit me up on Twitter at ShakedownRopes. I would be interested, actually, with this Hall of Fame coming. Because, yes, Sting is the headliner, but I don't necessarily know if he's far and above all the other inductees. You got Snoop Dogg, who's going to apparently give a speech. You got a couple of interesting cases coming up here at the Hall of Fame. Is Sting everyone's favorite to come into the Hall of Fame?
Headliner, but yet I don't know if they're going to let him actually close the show, which is weird to think about, only because, and the reason I say that is only because Sting is a WCW guy.
Yeah, I would, if I had to go right now, I'd say there's no doubt he's closing the show. I don't know who else you could go with it, and I understand the WCW thing, but this is the Hall of Fame where they kind of put that stuff behind. Yeah, I would say he's going to close the show, but Nathan, in Minneapolis, we kind of have the same weather going, so hopefully we both warm up a little bit, and I hope you look forward to WrestleMania and enjoy the weekend.
I do, and I always appreciate the time.
All righty, we will see you, Nathan. I want to thank him for calling in. Open lines 260-494-3811. Skype name is Let's Say Things. We're going to get to our guest, Jerome Cuson of PW Ponderings, here in just a bit to talk some of the non-WrestleMania events. Keep hitting us up in the chat room. Take a moment right now, if you have not already, hit the subscribe button. Be ready for the weekend shows. We got 3 shows coming up over the span of Friday night to Monday night after Raw. Hit the like button, the thumbs up button right there. If you're listening on demand, Follow me on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes. Follow the VOW Live. Go to voicesofwrestling.com/YouTube to make sure you can subscribe to the videos. And we are going to try this live on air. We are going to try to call our next guest here and see how this goes. And we'll see if we get ringing on the line or we don't. We'll get silence. Oh, Jerome Cuson of PW Ponderings. Is that you?
I am here, Rob McCarron, in your lovely Padres jersey.
Yes, you can see it. You can catch the Padres jersey. I can't show you the name on the back, but I don't think anyone would ever be able to guess the name on the back of this.
It's not Tony Gwynn. That's what I'm hearing.
It is not Tony Gwynn. It is not Tony Gwynn. It is a former 2009 Midwest League champion on the back of my jersey. But Jerome Cuson, we have you on to talk some of the WrestleMania 32 weekend events, some of the non-WWE events. There are a ton going on. I remember 10 years ago when I first started going to these WrestleMania shows from Ring of Honor, and they were kind of the only ones in town. Ring of Honor was the only one, aside from really small local promotions that just happened to be in the area. Ring of Honor really started this trend of piggybacking on WrestleMania weekend and running shows, and they had great success. Took a couple of years for everyone else to kind of climb on board, but now you got, WWE in Live with doing the Evolve and the Super shows. You got Kaiju Big Battle. You got Lucha shows going around the area. The NWA has a show Thursday night in the WrestleMania weekend time slot. What does this weekend mean to you these days as far as going into a weekend and not just having WWE shows on the docket?
It means that by the time WrestleMania comes around, I'm pretty much burned out on wrestling. That's been the pattern the last few years because I end up watching 4 or 5 shows. And with this year, you've got the 2 Evolves, you've got Shimmer, you've got the WWN Super Show, you've got NXT. I'm going to be watching like 6 shows before WrestleMania even starts. So it's a long weekend for me. It's a lot of coverage. It's a lot of tweeting at PW Ponderings. It's a lot of writing, reviews, pwponderings.com. So yes, it's very busy. Rob, in 2006, do you remember IWA Mid-South ran an excellent show on that weekend as well?
Yeah. Why am I hearing myself now? I don't know why I'm hearing myself, but what are you going to do? Yeah, no, I remember IWA Mid-South on WrestleMania weekend. I remember them for a couple of situations. They tried to climb on board, but that was Chicago. It was kind of easy for them to do so. They never made the trips.
Certainly not. But, this weekend has a chance to be
Was I on that show? I don't think I was on that show, the 2006 IWA Mid-South show. Because as you know, I was a referee.
I do remember that. That's why I asked about that.
I was trying to remember if I was. I don't believe I was on that show, but yeah, I don't think I was doing the WrestleMania weekend. I went to WrestleMania, in the. I did not go to the Ring of Honor show in Detroit in 2006. They did the Thursday in Detroit and then Friday, Saturday in Chicago. I went to the Ring of Honor shows Friday and Saturday, and then went to WrestleMania 22. WrestleMania 22 was my first WrestleMania ever. And boy, do I remember it fondly. It's probably the favorite one I've been to of the 3 I've been to, because that atmosphere in that building was just fantastic. But yeah, no, there's some crazy events. But go on. You were talking about what it means to you.
It means a lot to me. I mean, this weekend is the 10-year anniversary of my becoming an independent wrestling fan, because April 1st, 2006 was the first ever Ring of Honor show I ever attended.
Oh, wow.
So this is a big deal for me.
What did you think going in? Because that first show went quite a long time. That was a long wrestling show to go to.
I was exhausted.
Yes,
but I wanted more.
It was a long event. It had something like 12 matches, almost all of which were like super matches that you didn't get for a couple of years. I mean, just all in one show. It was absolutely crazy.
I was blown away by that show.
Yeah, you kind of would have had to been. I mean, it was insane.
I mean, everything about that show. Homicide and Colt Cabana, the Chair Riot, Bryan Danielson and Lance Storm, seeing Samoa Joe live for the first time. I mean, that show is just amazing and will always hold a very special place in my heart.
So we have, of course, Ring of Honor this weekend as well. We got Evolve. If you were to pick one, I'm forcing you now. to pick one show that is not WWE affiliated, that counts Evolve, out of the Evolve shows, the Ring of Honor, the Lucha Libre, the NWA, the Super shows, what is the one show that you would say you are looking forward to the most? It doesn't even have to be one that you can possibly see. Maybe it's not an iPay-per-view, or maybe it's not an iPay-per-view you're going to order right away. What's the one show that if you were there live, you would want to see the most?
Evolve 59. I actually prepared for this. Evolve 59, I think overall has the best card, and it also has the match that, other than Shinsuke Nakamura versus Sami Zayn, that I'm looking forward to the most. The main event is going to be Ricochet versus Will Ospreay, and that is certainly a match that I think has the potential to be one of the best of the weekend. But if you look at the rest of Evolve 59, this is a show that begins this Saturday, April 2nd, at noon Central Time, and it's got a lot of really good matches on it. Ricochet and Ospreay, Timothy Thatcher versus Marty Scurll, Zack Sabre Jr. versus former UFC star Matt Riddle, TJP versus Tommy End, Chris Hero versus Fred Yehi. Fred Yehi is definitely a name that you want to keep in mind for this weekend, because he's a relatively new star in the WWN universe, but he's someone that you're probably going to be hearing a lot of. And with the relationship between Evolve and NXT increasing seemingly by the day, Fred Yehi, it would not surprise me if, 18 months from now, we were talking about him in NXT, because I think he's got that much potential.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because there's a lot going on right now. As my video freezes, I need to figure out what's happening with this thing, with my camera freezing all the time. I don't get it. But anyway, there is a lot going on with Evolve, with the Global Cruiserweight Series coming up with WWE and NXT. It's been announced official now that we have a couple of promotions, Evolve being one of them, Rev Pro being another one. This is Progress Wrestling being another one, where they're going to have Global Cruiserweight Series qualifying matches. Basically, people who WWE wants in this tournament, they're giving the independents the okay to book them in matches and call them qualifying matches. What do you think about this new partnership between WWE and it's coming at a great time, because it's somewhat giving promotion to Evolve coming up this weekend? Like, they're basically tweeting out about Evolve Wrestling. People can go look at what Evolve Wrestling is and see, oh my God, they're going to be, 5 feet away from me on WrestleMania weekend.
I mean, it's funny because the conspiracy about this whole relationship actually goes back to last year when it was announced that Evolve and WWN would be running literally, I believe it's across the street from Access, correct? That's where.
Yeah, no, they're right across the. I mean, they're getting the okay. Remember when 2 years ago it was tough? All the promotions were talking about how they kept getting, rejections from buildings locally because WWE was trying to freeze people out, and now they're trying to welcome people in.
Specifically Evolve, but I mean, I think it's got a lot of potential for the talent. I think it's always great for the talent to be able to say that they have a WWE affiliation, and for some of these guys, it's obviously going to be an introduction into the WWE universe. A guy like Zack Sabre Jr. is definitely someone that I think you could see in the Global Cruiserweight Series. So if you are interested in seeing some of these talents this weekend at Evolve, is a really good opportunity to do that. And I don't know, it's probably going to help the promotions in the short term. Obviously, Evolve is going to probably set and break their attendance record 3 times this weekend. They're going to be doing north of 1,000 people for some of these shows. So obviously it's helping them. This is Progress and Rev Pro are 2 European promotions that have gotten a ton of buzz. The European scene is very hot right now. And I think that is represented by the fact that you've got so many guys like Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, Tommy End, the fact that they are coming to the United States for this weekend. I think that says a lot. And, this weekend, the This Is Progress title is going to be defended at WrestleCon. It's going to be Will Ospreay challenging Marty Scurll, and that is a match that has taken place in many federations. And if you have the opportunity to see WrestleCon, whether it's on VOD at High Spots or live, that match might make it worth it alone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's some good stuff going on. VoicesOfWrestling.com has a full list and lineup of match cards, times. I'm sure pwponderings.com as well. Jerome Cuson, the editor of pwponderings.com. You guys are going to have this wall-to-wall covered. You guys specialize in those indie events. So if you are looking forward to the non-WWE events, definitely your website there, pwponderings.com. You guys are going to have a busy weekend.
Yeah, I mean, WrestleMania weekend is pretty much, it's, I know for Voices of Wrestling, the G1 is like the busiest time. That's like your time to shine. WrestleMania weekend for us really is that time, not only for WrestleMania, but because of all these indie events. And it's really great. It's kind of you get burned out at certain points, but this really is the weekend for people and companies to really showcase themselves. And you can make your name in a weekend. I mean, Ring of Honor, I think there's so much cachet that came with Ring of Honor running WrestleMania weekend. Just based on their reputation, they are still able to sell out shows even without announcing a single match beforehand. And I think Evolve, after their success last year, I think they were able to do that this year.
No,
again,
you are absolutely right. I mean, Dragon Gate as a promotion made their name from WrestleMania weekend. Jimmy Jacobs made his name effectively on the large scale from WrestleMania weekend. You have the chance to do it. And right now there's eyeballs everywhere. People are looking at results. People are going to shows run by opposite shows. What I really like about this time on the weekend is what I like about the first weekend of the NCAA tournament is that it's unusual. You are going to have shows starting at noon. You are going to have shows starting at 4 p.m. on like a Friday. You are going to have shows starting all over the place during the weekend because they want to avoid conflict with other shows to get the most eyeballs and the most fans in the door. So if you are a college basketball fan and a wrestling fan, this is your weekend because you can go to Dallas and literally go to any wrestling show you want at any time of day over the weekend. It's one of the better things I really like about this weekend is you just have wrestling all day long.
And I think that the other positive is that Evolve has such a distinct style now, and it's so different from Ring of Honor and WWE that you're not only seeing a bunch of different promotions, but you also have the opportunity to see a bunch of different styles. I mean, Evolve, the grappling style is popular with some. It's not admittedly not for everybody, but you can see that. You can see different types. And the one thing I want to say about this weekend as well, I think women are playing a bigger role than ever this weekend. Obviously, we've got the NXT Divas on WrestleMania. We've got Asuka versus Bayley, but you've also got Shimmer. They are running their Heart of Shimmer tournament this Saturday. And that's going to be a really big deal because there are a number of very prominent names, including Heidi Lovelace, Kimberly, who's been written about in Rolling Stone. Plus, you're going to have Queens of Combat, as well as a WSU title defense. So more so than ever this year, you're going to have women playing a prominent role in WrestleMania weekend, and I think that is also a really positive thing.
Yeah, no, it's getting more and more positive. It is absolutely getting more and more positive about this weekend. Have we reached a peak though? Because it seems like this weekend there's just so many shows. Can this continue in this form? Is it reaching a peak where there's just too much where you're going to start seeing people kind of bow out a little bit of WrestleMania weekend? Or do you think this is kind of be the regular for the next couple of years?
I thought WrestleCon 2013 was the peak of it because it was in New York. Mm-hmm. And I think there were even more shows that weekend than there were this weekend.
Yeah, maybe not within the close proximity, but at least within like the metro area. Yeah.
But if you look at it, Ring of Honor has sold out both of their shows. Mm-hmm. Evolve is going to do 1,000 people for all of their shows. They're going to do really well. So as long as they keep drawing, I don't foresee it because to me, for me, there's so many people that travel from around the world. There's so many people that travel from around the country. For a lot of people, this is going to be their only opportunity to see, particularly Evolve live. Obviously, Ring of Honor tours, so there's more of an opportunity. But for the international fans, this may be their only time to see Ring of Honor live. Right. So I honestly don't foresee it. I mean, I think people are going to continue to see these shows because to me, there is a cachet that comes with WrestleMania weekend. It is an opportunity to travel for 3 to 4 days and just see as much wrestling as you want. And think about this, Rob. I mean, we're not specifically going to talk about WrestleMania week specifically, but that show sold out. It's got 84,000 people. There are not a lot of people that are excited for WrestleMania based on what I've seen, but people are going because it's WrestleMania. And I think it's the same principle. People are going to go to these Ring of Honor shows, these Evolve shows, because it surrounds WrestleMania, and it's what you do. It's what you do this weekend.
It is. It is what you do. pwponderings.com to catch all the reviews of all the independent wrestling shows happening this weekend. Jerome, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Rob.
All righty. Jerome Cuson of pwponderings.com for all of your independent wrestling needs. We're also going to have reviews of all the big shows and the WWE and NXT shows at voicesofwrestling.com. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this live chat so far. We are not quite done, though. We still have open lines. If you want to call in and you haven't gotten the chance to, 260-494-3811. Skype, Let's Say Things. I wanted to get to a couple of different things. I put out a poll earlier before the show started. I put out a poll on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes. For tonight's VOW live stream, the question was, which event are you most looking forward to this weekend? The options were WrestleMania, NXT TakeOver Dallas, the WWE Hall of Fame, or a non-WWE event. Winning the poll was NXT TakeOver Dallas. I don't think that's a big surprise, but I was just curious to see exactly how many people are really making that their priority, because this NXT show coming up with Austin Aries and Baron Corbin, and your main event of Finn Balor and Samoa Joe for the NXT title. You got Bayley and Asuka. There's not a match on this show that I don't think anyone is kind of saying, okay, this is the weak match of the show. It's just all strong. There's a lot of stuff going on in the show. You don't have some of the new guys like Nia Jax. I mean, the tag team match, which I got to see live in person in Indianapolis between The Revival and American Alpha, was fantastic. So if that's going to be your weak link, I don't think that you can really make it so, because that match has the chance to be really good. So you have some really important matches. You have some really big ones. They're going to be really cool. So at 71%, NXT TakeOver Dallas was winning the poll. Coming in second, maybe this is a little bit of a surprise. Coming in second was WrestleMania 32 at 16%, and the Hall of Fame coming in last at 4%. So the Hall of Fame, not really a priority for people coming up this weekend. We have 11 matches right now officially announced for WrestleMania. We have, it looks like, 9 of them being announced for the main show. Your pre-show matches are the tag team match between the Usos and the Dudley Boys and the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. But you got Triple H and Roman Reigns, which looks like it's going to main event the show. Shane McMahon and The Undertaker, Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks for the Triple Threat Divas Championship match. The New Day against the League of Nations in a 4-on-3. Kalisto and the Ryback for the U.S. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, Dolph, Zack Ryder, Sin Cara, Miz, and Stardust in the Intercontinental Championship match. AJ Styles and Chris Jericho, which was finally made announced official today. And the Total Divas versus Team Bad and Blonde. Naomi, Tamina, Lana, Emma, and Summer Rae. So I'm glad Emma's on the show. I'm actually glad Eva Marie is on the show. You know, you can dislike her in the ring, but I think she's an interesting character, and I'm not going to give up on what she can become in character-wise. She's not good in the ring. We all know this, and it's no surprise, but this is a 10-person tag team match. She can't really screw it up that bad, can she? She cannot screw it up that bad, I don't think. I thought they said on the Raw that Ryback and Kalisto and the 10 Diva tag are also on the pre-show. That would be impossible. You're not going to have 4 matches on the pre-show on a 4-hour pay-per-view. I don't think that's going to be possible. Because then you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matches on the main show? What are you going to do for the last 2 hours? Maybe you have some type of concert. Maybe you have a big rock segment. I don't think they're going to spread 7 matches out over a 4-hour span. Maybe they could. Maybe there's one that I'm missing here that hasn't been officially announced yet that might be announced, but I don't think you're going to see that. I think that maybe the Usos and the Dudleys won't be on the pre-show. I believe it will be, but I don't think that is going to happen. There's too many matches on that pre-show. The Divas tag, people are saying, should be on the pre, and that's why I think that there's no way that's on the pre-show, because you have this interplay with Total Divas, the E-show. They're going to put that at WrestleMania. It may go 5 minutes, but they're going to put that at WrestleMania. Dudley, we have KD on the chat says, Dudleys versus Usos and the 10 Diva tag match will be on the kickoff show. And they could be. I would just be surprised that they have... Now, if they have those 3 matches on the kickoff show, that makes more sense. I can see 8 matches being spread out over the main WrestleMania when you have, backstage segments and the Hall of Fame where they all come out and just stand there for a little bit. Maybe you have a concert from one of the title artists on WrestleMania. You have, obviously, a lot of these matches can go pretty long. You have the elaborate entrances. I can see them spreading out 8 matches on the main show, but trying to spread out 7 matches on the main show, that won't happen. Trent says, Rob, I knew I liked you for a reason, giving Eva some love when everyone else in the world is giving her hate. Yes, Eva Marie hasn't done anything to earn your hate. Was she bad in the ring in 2013? As I was talking with Jerome, 2013 is forever ago. People are bad when they first come up, especially if they don't know how to wrestle. I'm not going to hold what happened to her 3 years ago against her now. She's remarkably better in the ring since she first started. Is she great? No, but she's still new. And she's built up a really good character and done really well in this heel role, more so than a lot of people do when they're first starting out. So I am not going to hate on Eva Marie right now. Will she earn my hate later on? Maybe. But I tend not to do this because, and it works out for me. I didn't hate on Baron Corbin early. Look what Baron Corbin's become. Maybe you still hate him. I think Baron Corbin is fantastic in his role. So don't hate early. Give it time. Let things develop. It is the developmental show after all. So they do get time to develop. I want to thank everyone who had called into our show. Be sure, last time I will plug this, subscribe to the video, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit me up on Twitter at ShakeThemRopes. Be sure to follow for all of the announcements coming up over the weekend. We are going to do 3 live shows, 3 of them after NXT TakeOver on Friday with Rich Craich of VOW. Sunday after WrestleMania with your calls. We will have open phone lines on Sunday after WrestleMania. And our guest on that show, Joe Lanza, at Joe M. Lanza on Twitter. He will be on the show on Sunday. Monday, I don't know if Jeff is going to be on the show. He's going to try to call in. He's there live in Dallas. But Monday, we will do a post show just like this one. Open lines after the Raw after WrestleMania. What kind of craziness is going to happen on that Raw? There's bound to be some. So call into the show next Monday. Be sure to tell all your wrestling fan friends, watch this show on Monday because you will not want to miss all the craziness. It will let you get your emotions out there, get your questions out there, get your comments on all the surprises out there. Who wins the main event of WrestleMania? Is Shane McMahon in charge of Raw? Who knows? But if he does become in charge of Raw, brings up a bunch of NXT guys, we will talk about it on this show here on the Voices of Wrestling channel. It'll be hilarious if Eva Marie is on Mania and Bray Wyatt isn't. Bray Wyatt will be on the Andre show. It's okay. Sometimes people are in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Bray Wyatt's had a good 2-year run of WrestleMania shows. He will be back. So yes, is it a bummer for him? Sure, that he's not on the Mania main show, but he will have his time. He will have his time back. So I want to thank all of you for watching this show. Catch Jeff and I doing our WrestleMania 32 official prediction show tomorrow on Shake Them Ropes. You can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, and so much more. Follow me on Twitter at Shake Them Ropes. Visit voicesofwrestling.com/STR for all of the subscription information for Shake Them Ropes. And we'll be back with Rich and Joe this weekend for live video streams here on the Voices of Wrestling channel. So be sure to subscribe at voicesofwrestling.com/YouTube. And I will see you all on Friday night for the live stream. But catch me in audio on Shake Them Ropes tomorrow, Tuesday. I hope y'all listen. I hope y'all enjoy. And thank you for watching this show.